Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to set up a Swann NVR with two wireless cameras. So what you're going to need is your NVR, your two wireless cameras, a TP-Link router, a monitor. This is a secondhand monitor I picked up just from a secondhand store for about $30. Just make sure that when you get one, it's able to support either VGA or HDMI. And I got a power bar. I always bring one in with me just in case there's not enough outlets. The best ones to use are where you can plug it in sideways. Otherwise, you'll only be able to plug in 2 or 3. And then just a knife to cut open the packaging. For these TP-Links, it's also best to use this one with the 2 antennas because it supports 4 inputs as opposed to the other ones that support 2. So these are the best routers to use for this. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all set up. We're all set up here. This is what it's going to look like when you first boot it up. And what I did is I just plugged in my mouse into the NVR and plugged the monitor in here. This is a VGA monitor. I connected the NVR to the router with Ethernet and to one of the out ports. And then the other 2 here, the 2 blue ones, are the 2 cameras, which I also plugged in. And I plugged in the cameras. The power source obviously is to the power bar. You can see how many plugins you need. 5 in total, just for 2 cameras. So this is why I bring that power bar with me. So what we'll do here is we'll just click on these boxes, proceed. The Wi-Fi mode will be station, which means that it allows you to upload online. You're going to have to click OK, and it's going to reboot the NVR. So it should only take about 10 or 20 seconds or whatever to do that. And you'll notice that I didn't leave a big mess here. Any garbage that you have, you can just throw it in the box. This is how I leave. This is what I leave for the customer. Just 3 boxes with the instructions on top. And there's no reason that you should be leaving a bunch of papers and whatnot lying all over the place. So just check your boxes again. Proceed. We're in station now. We're going to scan for this TP-Link router, which is the second option here, TP-Link. And the password is just written on the bottom of the TP-Link as long as it's still a default settings. Wireless password. So it's just a series of numbers. Yours will obviously be different than mine. You can also click show key, so it just shows you what you're entering. Sometimes you'll have to click the numbers a couple of times for them to appear, for whatever reason. Like that. Click sync. These are your 2 cameras, camera 1, camera 2. These lines here are just because it's an old, crappy monitor, but that obviously won't be on yours. Okay, and then click the side arrow. English, whatever time zone you're in. We'll just say it's, well, mine's central, so we'll just say central. Click to the side again. Click to the side again. Click to the side again. And then once you get to the end here, just click finish. And you're all set up. If you right click, that brings up your menu. You can also check out this is where you would search for old videos. If you click on that, you can search camera 1, camera 2, and you pick the date you want to search. Sorry, let's go back. And then you can pick whichever video you want. A1 is camera 1, A2 is camera 2. And you can also, so you click play. You can also play them at the same time. So you can click 1 and 2, and what that'll do is it'll show you, if there's motion going on both cameras, it'll show you them simultaneously. Down here, this is the dark areas where something is happening, and then the light blue area where there's no motion. So it's automatically set up, and right click to go back. It's automatically set up to record motion. And it's all recorded here on the NVR, but if you want to look back on the files, or sorry, if you want to save the files onto your computer, you actually have to get the computer program on your computer and just Google, you'll have to Google Swann Swann view link on your computer. Okay, so you can also have audio. If this supported audio, I can actually listen to what's going on this particular screen. Or you can click on this screen and it switches over to that one. You can listen to that one. So right click to bring up the menu. So yeah, it's already set up to record 24 hours a day based on motion. So whenever there's motion, it will record up to 500 gigabytes and then delete the old stuff once it reaches that. If you want to detach the router from the NVR, you'll have to go to Wi-Fi link, and I usually just do this anyways, so that either way you can either connect it through the wires or you can do it through wirelessly. Sometimes the customer's router is in a different room than, let's say, their TV, so you want to have your router connected to their router and then the NVR connected to the TV so you can view it there. So you'll have to go to Wi-Fi link, click apply, configuration saved, and just in case, I go to Wi-Fi setting and I sync the cameras again. So sync, okay, oops, finish, and apply again. So right click to go back after you've applied the settings, and now you're good to go. So we've connected our cameras wirelessly now, we've synced them up. You can just go ahead and disconnect them from the router. I just leave these Ethernet cords in the box because otherwise you're going to end up with about 100 of these, so you might as well just leave them there. And if the customer wants, they can use it or whatever. So do that. And then you can also, because we switched it to Wi-Fi, you can also disconnect the router from the NVR completely. And now it's going to upload the video feed wirelessly to the NVR. So you got a range of about 20 feet. I probably wouldn't go any further than that. I would try to stay within about 20 feet. Yeah, we can separate this, put it in another room if we want, and then hook this up to a local monitor, television, anything with an HDMI or a VGA input. You can tell here what your signal strength is. So here we're obviously at 4 bars, which is full strength because we're right next to it. Here you can see that it's recording and that there's motion. So that's what those indicate, a little camera, a little guy moving. And then this is the one that's given the audio feed. And this is the connection to the router. This is how strong our connection is. So obviously we're only like a foot away from the router. So, you know, we have 4 bars here. But yeah, as you move them further apart, I wouldn't go any less than 2 bars. And 2 bars is even kind of risky. So try to aim for 3 or higher. On either the camera or the Wi-Fi router, but at least you got a good indication there of how close you have to be. Now, when it comes to mounting the cameras, a 1/2-inch drill bit should get your power supply through, the cord for your power supply. You could feed that through a wall with a 1/2-inch bit, so usually I get a long one for that. And it comes with a good amount of extension wire as well, but at the end here, obviously, yeah, you need a bigger bit. The issue comes in if you have to tuck all the wire into the wall. You're gonna also have to tuck in your LAN input. So for that, you need a bigger bit. So I bought a 1-inch bit because you're gonna need at least 1 inch to get that thing through. So I got that. Typically what I'll do is, you can get a 1-inch bit that's this long too, but what I'll do is I'll just drill through with this one and then go from both sides with the 1-inch bit. So if you want to save yourself some money, you can do it that way. Anytime you're drilling through exterior walls, you're going to have to use a silicone caulking. So I bought this one. I mean, you can buy whatever one you want, but just make sure that you fill any holes you make with this before you leave. Tricky thing about these cameras is they don't look left all the way. They'll look right, but because of the antenna, it just doesn't allow it to look left. So hanging them upside down is a really good option because then you can mount it however you want, 360 degrees. And then if you have to mount it on a wall, I recommend using this weather box. They're about $8 if you get them at a hardware store. So basically, it's just a metal box with a cover plate. You can punch out the holes on the side and on the back, and then that way you can run your wire, and it actually takes about up to an inch diameter hole there, so you can put your LAN input in there. And just mount that on the wall, and then you can mount your camera right under there. And it'll just sit there, and you can put all the wires inside here, which is pretty nice if you want to hide the wires. And then that way, you just close it up. And it looks a heck of a lot nicer than just having a bunch of wires sitting there, right? On the inside of a house, you can use, or any wood surface, like a wood wall, you can use a stapler, which is obvious. But when it comes to the inside of a metal shed, or on the outside of a metal shed, you can use these nylon clamps. And it just takes a screw instead of a nail. And it's I would get this brand. It's MARR, comes in a box. I wouldn't get Gardner Bender because these things are garbage. So if you can get these ones, and I can't get anything smaller than a 1/4 inch, so I haven't found anything. If you can get an 1/8, that would be perfect. And that's about it. I'll show you a couple of examples of some cameras that have been mounted that I've seen or that I've done, and then yeah, you'll be ready to do your own. I forgot to mention a couple of things. To hook up our router to the customer's internet to start uploading, just connect their router to our blue port, or their modem to the blue port, should be fine. And just get them to download on their phone. They'll need a smartphone, Android or Apple, obviously. They'll need to download this app. It's called Swann View Link. Swann View being one word and then link. The icon will look like that. And then there's a QR code that'll look something like this on the face of the NVR. And the app will require you to scan that or just enter in the code that's on the top of that NVR. And you'll be good to go with that. This is a pretty typical installation. The camera here is mounted up under an awning. And all that I did here was just zip tie the wires together, and then I used a cable clamp to run the wire along the bottom of it. So this is an outdoor installation, which most of them will be. If not, you can use a type of weather box like what was used here. And this person mounted it on the top. You can also mount it on the bottom, but that gives you a 360-degree view. This is a way that you can protect the cable or the wire, is to use sheathing, but usually we won't use it, so unless the customer asks, we'll have to charge them extra for it. So if they really need it, it is available, but normally we won't do it. This is a job that was done by Miguel Cruz, and he installed a camera inside the house. Normally we're installing them outside of the house 99% of the time, but he actually just drilled into the wall and hid the wires in the wall, and here's how he did the plug-in. So you can do it inside. I would recommend doing it, obviously, an interior wall that's not going to have insulation in it. Just makes it a lot easier to run the wire. You don't have to mess up their insulation. But you're going to also have to drill a 1-inch hole to make that work, so it's pretty big. So normally we wouldn't do it inside, but that is a way that you could do it inside, but normally it'll look something like that, or like that. So that's it for installing the Swann cameras, and hope you found it informative. Talk to you later.